Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for Let's Talk Travel. My name is Kim Lewis and I'm a destination travel expert with Your Travel Moments and Empty Nest Travel Agent. I've been doing travel for about 30 years, the past 2.5 with my current host agency, and I'm hoping that these webinars are going to help you feel hopeful about travel. You know, this travel ban isn't going to last forever, and so we need to start planning because I will tell you that 2021 is already booking up fast. I've had clients that have had to reschedule and they've rescheduled, and sometimes it's been hard to find exactly what they want in the destination that they want to go to. I know we just booked our travel for 2021 in April, and it was a hard time finding the resort that I wanted to celebrate our 15th wedding anniversary. We're also booking into the early first quarter of 2022, so we know that it's happening and we want you to be a part of it. So every week on Friday, we're going to spend about 30 minutes together. Sometimes I'm going to bring in some special guests, and other times I'm just going to share with you some travel tips, some destinations. Whether you want to do cruise, rail, or land, we're going to have options for everyone. So I hope that you'll continue to join us as we do this webinar series. I think you're going to enjoy it. So today I just want to kick it off with a simple start to how we're going to run these and give you kind of an idea of what you're going to be experiencing. So give me a minute while I share my screen. All right. So yes, let's talk travel. Some of my destinations that I'm an expert at are Hawaii, Mexico, Vancouver, British Columbia, Alaska, as well as land rail cruise. And I've also booked some trips for Ireland, the Mediterranean, Europe this past year. And we're all pretty excited about what's out there to offer our clients. And I will tell you, I'm going to encourage you to use a travel agent, especially with this chaos that we've had in the last few months. Those of you that had travel agents, you know that it was a much easier process than if you had to fight it on your own. So the first thing I want to talk about today, and I hope that you'll enjoy it with me, is that we are actually going to create a plan. This is kind of what we're going to be covering over the first few weeks anyway. Where do you want to go? When do you want to go? Yes, it does make a difference the time of year you want to go. There's better deals on shoulder seasons. And what do those look like for each of your destinations? How much do you want to spend? And does that include your shore excursions? Does that include your meals? Do you want an all-inclusive or not if you're going to go to a resort? So those are some things that we're going to talk about. And how do you want to go? Land, rail, or cruise? There are some people who absolutely love cruises and other people who prefer all-inclusive resorts. So we're going to talk about those, the differences, and when I think that they're the most appropriate for what you're trying to do. So let's start with, where do you want to go? You need to make a list. Create a bucket list, if you will, whatever you want to call it, and at least put 3 destinations on there. If you're really ambitious, you can put 10, and that way you can start ticking them off as we start planning your travel for you. As you can see, the first 2 photos on here are my photos. These are photos that I've taken. The first one on the far left is Hawaii. It's the North Shore. We are at a heiau, and we are overlooking the North Shore beach. Now I got to tell you a little funny story about this picture. I'm one of those, my husband and I are both photographers and bloggers, and I was trying to get the perfect shot. And we were on the edge of the heiau, and I was looking over the valley, and it's a beautiful drop, and I was trying to get just the perfect picture. And it had been raining on and off, and I didn't realize how close I was to the edge. Luckily, my husband was keeping an eye on me, and he grabbed me just before I went over the edge and tumbled down in through the brush. But I did get a great photo, so I'm really happy about that. But now we do know that we have to be a little more careful when I'm taking photos, because I tend to get the photo and not look where I'm going. The next photo is one I've also taken, and this is when we were in Cancun. And this is from the top of the Oasis Grand, Cancun. And it's beautiful. We were at the pyramid and had a beautiful day. Really enjoyed the trip. And this resort actually has one of the longest pools. You can go from one end of the resort to the other end of the resort without ever getting out of the pool except for one time. And that's because there's a swim up bar right sort of smack in the middle and a restaurant. So you do need to get out. But it's a fantastic resort. And the one on the right, the far right, is Alaska. I did not take this picture. It was our bucket list trip for this year, but unfortunately got canceled when most of the cruise lines are not going to go into Alaska due to COVID. So it is on the top of our list for next year. But as you well know, Alaska has a limited season when you can travel and when you can cruise. So we're going to have to renegotiate for next year and plan accordingly. So the first thing that I want you to do, and you are going to have some assignments in between these different webinars, is that I want you to get a bucket list in mind. And while you're putting together that bucket list, think about how you want to see each of those locations. Because for each of those locations, you can experience them for the most part on a cruise and land and rail. So we need to be talking about how you want to travel and what that's going to look like as we go forward. So how do you register for these? It's pretty simple. Just go to emptynesttраvelagent.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a area where you can click on Let's Talk Travel. So I hope that you're going to join us and experience travel with us until we can actually do it for real. And I know it's going to happen soon, so keep the faith, because we're going to start traveling real soon. It may just be local or in the US, but you just never know. I know that Mexico is going to be reopening their resorts starting June 1st. Now, we know that can change, but we're also going to give you some updates as this fluid situation changes as we go forward. Once again, I'm Kim Lewis, Destination Travel Expert, your Travel Moments and Empty Nest Travel Agent, and I hope you'll join us for our webinars. In the meantime, aloha, hola,